Chapter 11. The Second Wave. Galactica, CIC. The raiders stopped being background noise. They became the mechanism. Dradis was no longer a clean picture of warhead tracks and intercept points. It turned into a swarm of fast contacts whose only purpose was to force mistakes at the worst possible second. Behind the intercept line, the battlegroup support ships held far back, cold and cautious, maintaining distance and minimal emissions. They were not part of the knife fight, but they were the reason the knife fight mattered. Gator's voice stayed steady because the board demanded it. Radar screen is tightening. The escorts are riding closer to the warheads. The strike element is pressing our corridor. The high element is pushing into Prometheus's fighter lanes. Tyre's jaw tightened. They're trying to choke every basket at once. Starbuck cut in over the tactical net, breath short. They don't need to win the dogfights. They only need to make us late. William Adama didn't disagree. Then we don't give them late. He leaned toward Gator. Warhead count. Gator's fingers moved fast. Second wave is inbound. 12 active tracks, plus broken returns. Their screen is forcing our Vipers off clean approach angles. Adama nodded once. All batteries maintain missile defense corridors. Point defense stays free fire on inbound raiders. Vipers stay on warheads. Pair up. Rotate. Starbuck answered immediately, rough but controlled. Copy. 2 ship teams. Roslyn stood just behind Adama's shoulder, eyes fixed on the curve of Earth below. They're going to call this an invasion, she said. They're going to call it something, Adama replied. We don't control that. Roslyn's voice stayed low. But we can control whether we look like we're saving them, or bringing the war down on them. Adama's hand tightened on the rail. We make sure the first part is true. Gator's console chimed. A new burst, routed through Prometheus. Prometheus is coordinating intercept lanes, Gator said. They are holding steady. Tyre's eyes narrowed. Professional. Adama keyed the shared channel. Prometheus, this is Galactica. We will hold the mid-corridor. Keep your fighters on the high screen pressing your intercept basket. We will not chase your attackers unless they break through. The reply came back clipped and calm. Copy. Galactica. Warheads remain primary. Additional fighters launching. Adama didn't look up. Good. He paused, then added, more to his crew than to anyone listening. Hold the line. Prometheus, bridge the tactical display didn't care that the threat was new. It only cared that the tracks were inbound. Hostile fighters are contesting our intercept basket, the sensor officer reported. They're trying to pull our F-302s off their lanes. The captain watched the plot and kept his voice level. That's what they want. We don't give it to them. A status window flashed as a warhead track corrected again, smooth as a thought. They're still getting clean guidance updates, the sensor officer added. No degradation. The captain's gaze flicked to a secondary silhouette, the ship calling itself Galactica, holding between the moon and Earth like a shield with engines. They're leaning on Galactica to open her corridor, the captain said. And they're leaning on us to open ours. The weapons officer nodded. Same play, 2 angles. The sensor officer hesitated, then added, Sir, we're getting something else on the launch platform. No shield envelope detected. If it has shields, they're down or non-standard. Our returns show impacts coupling directly to hull and armor. For a moment the bridge went very still. They were used to enemies that hid behind glowing physics. The weapons officer frowned. Bare hull. Looks that way, the sensor officer said. The captain's mouth tightened. Unexpected. Also useful. He keyed a secure line. Homeworld security. Prometheus. Hostile fighters are pressing our intercept basket. We are holding. Hammond's voice came back calm and immediate. Missile defense remains the priority. Keep intercepts as high as possible. Coordinate with Galactica and report the moment you have a clean strike window on the launcher. Copy, the captain said. If we get a window, we can strike the launch platform. Hammond didn't hesitate. Take it. The captain cut the channel and looked at his weapons officer. Prep a strike squadron. F-302s only. The weapons officer blinked once. Against a capital ship. Not a duel, the captain said. A surgical pass. If their hull is exposed, our warheads matter. He glanced back at the plot, calculating distances as much as intentions. Naquadra-enhanced missiles. Drive section and launch bays. One run. Then out. A new warning tone sounded. Hostile element is committing on our interceptors, the sensor officer called. They're diving hard. The captain's voice stayed cold. All F-302s, rotate coverage. Keep one wing on the warheads at all times. Do not chase. A pilot's voice came back tight. Copy. They're baiting hard. Let them bait, the captain replied. Kill warheads. The moon, surface the flashes over Earth had stopped being singular events. They became rhythm. Halo watched the strobe over the planet and tried to keep his breathing even. If this was Earth, he understood now why no one ever wanted to fight near it. A world made you feel responsible in a way open space never did. Tyrol's meter kept climbing and dipping like local space couldn't decide what shape it wanted to be. Boomer's voice was tight. Chief, the ring readings are spiking in response to each detonation. Tyrol didn't look away from the numbers. It's resonant. Halo's jaw tightened. Meaning what? Tyrol swallowed. Meaning the more they shake local space, the more it destabilizes around this area. Halo stared at the sky. Then we hope they stop shaking it. A beat. Then a new flash bloomed closer than the others. Still high. Still above atmosphere. But close enough that Halo felt it in his bones anyway. Somehow, that was worse. Galactica, CICA radar broke wide, away from the main screen, sniffing for softer targets. Wide contact, Gator reported. Fainting toward our aft formation. Adama didn't raise his voice. One Viper pair. Push it back. Everyone else stays on warheads. Starbuck's answer came immediate. Copy. They're probing for the easy kill. The wide contact turned away under pressure, folding back into the screen. Tyre's jaw clenched. They know we've got a tail. Adama's hand tightened on the rail. Then we don't let them touch it. Another flash burned high in orbit. Another warhead died far above the atmosphere, bright enough to be seen from cities that had never believed the sky could do that. Rosalind's voice came low. How many have gotten through? None into atmosphere, Gator answered immediately. One came close. Prometheus and Starbuck's wing took it out. Adama didn't allow relief to show. Then we keep it that way. Gator's board chimed again, a different tone. Base star power is rising, he said. Drive spool behavior. Tyre's eyes narrowed. FTL. Starbuck's voice cut in, sharp. If it jumps, it comes back. Or it goes somewhere worse. Adama's gaze sharpened on the spike. If it can jump. Gator flicked through the numbers. Spike is unstable. Fluctuating. Like the field won't hold. Tyre's mouth tightened. Same distortion that dragged us here. Adama's hand tightened on the rail. Then it's trapped with us. He keyed the shared channel. Prometheus. Galactica. The launch platform is attempting a drive spool. Spike is unstable. If you have a strike plan, be ready. Prometheus answered without drama. Copy. Strike squadron standing by. Prometheus. Bridge the intercept basket tightened. Not because the warheads were fewer. Because the defenders were learning the pattern, and forcing the pattern to pay. F-302 wing is holding lanes, the weapons officer reported. Hostile fighters are taking losses. The captain didn't relax. Losses aren't victory. They are time. A secure thread chirped. Galactica. Adama's voice came through clipped and controlled. Prometheus, warhead count is down to 6 active. We can open a corridor window for a strike run. Can you take it? The captain didn't hesitate. Yes. He leaned forward. Strike Squadron, you're up. Naquada enhanced missiles. 1 pass. Drive section and launch bays. No loiter. No heroics. A pilot replied immediately. Copy. Forming. The sensor officer's voice tightened. Hostile high element is already pressing our fighters. They will contest the strike. Let them contest, the captain said. That's what escorts are for. Hammond's voice cut into the secure channel. Prometheus, engage the launch platform when your window opens. Keep the engagement off Earth's limb. Copy, the captain replied. We'll take it in the corridor. The strike squadron slid into formation near Prometheus, engines throttled for the moment, waiting for the corridor to clear. They would need minutes to cross the gap. Minutes where the intercept lanes had to hold. Galactica, CIC 6 active warheads, Gator confirmed. 2 screened. 4 exposed. Adama's voice stayed even. All Vipers, take the exposed ones now. Batteries, focus on the screened tracks. We need a clean window. Starbuck's voice came back rough but steady. Copy. Going in. On the monitor, a Viper rolled through radar fire and put a burst into a warhead's guidance section. The warhead detonated high, bright, and violent. 1 down. Prometheus's F-302s took another at range. 2 down. The screened warheads were still coming, tucked behind raiders that wanted every intercept to become a knife fight. Batteries, Adama said. Now. Galactica's flak opened in a brutal pattern, timed to the approach. Raiders shredded in the bursts, but the warhead behind them kept coming until Starbuck's wing made it pay. 3 down. Gator's voice rose. Lane is opening. Adama keyed the shared channel. Prometheus. Window is open. Commit. Prometheus replied immediately. Strike Squadron committing. On Dradis, the strike tracks peeled away and burned hard toward the Cisluna line, threading into the corridor while Galactica held it open. Raiders pivoted to meet them. Starbuck's voice snapped across the net. They're going to try to chew your squadron up before it gets there. Adama's tone stayed cold. Then we keep them busy. He turned to Ty. Point defense. Maximum. Keep raiders off that strike as long as we can. Galactica's flak became a wall. Not perfect. Not gentle. But it bought seconds. Gator's hands moved fast. Strike Squadron is taking fire. 1 friendly track is damaged. Still closing. Adama didn't flinch. Hold the window. The base star's drive spike flared again, unstable and angry. Tyre's jaw clenched. It's still trying. Adama's eyes stayed on the plot. Then it's going to fail while it's bleeding. Minutes later, the strike squadron reached the lunar shadow corridor and vanished into it. Their tracks jittered under defensive fire. Then a tight flash appeared inside the shadow. A contained, violent burst that meant a missile had found metal. Gator's voice tightened. Impact. Hull breach. Launch bay sector. A second flash. A third. The drive spike surged, then buckled, as if the ship's attempt to bend space had been punched out of rhythm. Starbuck's voice came through low. They hit the drive section. The base star's launch cadence stuttered. Gator read the board, fast and precise. No new warhead launches. Drive spike collapsed. Contact is venting and losing attitude control. The radar screen wavered. Not because the raiders vanished, but because coordination fractured. Some stayed with the remaining warheads out of habit. Some turned on the strike squadron in blind fury. Some broke away entirely. Gator's voice stayed clinical. Guidance corrections just dropped. Remaining warhead tracks are ballistic. Ty exhaled once, grim. They are loose. Adama's answer was immediate. Then we finish the missiles and sweep the corridor. 2 active warheads, Gator called. Adama didn't let the room breathe. Kill them. Prometheus's F-302s rotated. One wing held the lane. The other took the shot. The first remaining warhead died high and clean. The second tried to correct, but without steady updates it only drifted. Its path became predictable. Galactica's batteries found it. It vanished in a flash that was already becoming normal. Outside, raiders still moved. Starbuck's voice came in tight but steady. We've got raiders breaking away. Some are running. Some are still fighting. On a routed channel, Prometheus added its own calm note. F-302s sweeping hostile fighters off the intercept lanes. Holding Cislunar line. Adama keyed the net. Do not pursue beyond the corridor. Clear immediate threats. Keep your fuel. We're not turning this into a chase. Starbuck replied, and for the first time her voice carried something like relief. Copy. We'll sweep and hold. Only then did Roslyn speak, voice low. Is it over? Adama didn't look away from Earth. The missiles, yes. The situation, no.